Welcome to the Talk Shop.
Yo,
Sup.
it's all good, man. I feel. Well, firstly, I feel better because I was saying on Friday, PJ was sick. I think we mentioned it last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a little bit sick as a result. More
Yeah.
headaches. Like you ever had a headache, just like one side of your head,
Yeah.
and it's just pulsing. And like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I had
Yeah.
that. But he picked something up from daycare clearly because he went back to daycare on Monday. He had a bit of runny nose, but whatever. But then Tuesday he went and they were like, "Listen, he's got to go home." I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, because now it's not just him, but like 4 other kids have runny noses, and because of COVID, like public health ministry is like, yo, this is a problem. Send all the kids home."
Oh, really?
So I had to send them home, and they were like, "Well, if he does a COVID test and comes back negative, then he can come back."
Oh, you're gonna do a COVID test on him?
Yeah, we did it, and he was
Oh, okay.
negative.
Okay.
But we did it on Friday or Thursday. No, Thursday, and then no, we did it on Friday. So and then I just said, you know what? I kind of took like half days of work,
Mm-hmm.
so I was trying to like work while he was napping, really, but it's not the most effective thing to do.
Well, you guys do it actually throughout this whole lockdown. Like I work, and Kaima comes out and plays in the living room behind me and stuff. I feed her a little bit and put her down, but I don't. It never really slows me down with
Mhm.
work, thankfully. But she's been doing it since lockdown started. And when lockdown started, she was what? How many months? She was like, well, it was last March, so it was like she was like 4 months.
Right.
So since then, we've been dealing with that, and she's gotten used to the fact that I'm working, so she doesn't really disrupt too much. I mean, once in a while, but
Mhm.
guys, and made the time the nap times are scheduled so that it's up. I can work optimally for like 4 hours, then feed her, then work for 2 hours, then when she goes to bed again, work. So I get my full 8 to 10 hours, depending on how I work it,
Right.
regardless, But generally, but yeah, I was telling you too. Like I'm not feeling too great right now. Kind of
Mhm.
stuffy nose, weird throat. But because Kaima just started daycare on Monday last week, so it's been all over the place. You know,
That's the thing, man.
but it's been peace of mind, man. Like for real, I haven't like she's not home all day, so it's like from like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's just me
Mhm.
working, everyone else is doing their thing, so it's been pretty good. It's been a change. So daycare all the way now.
Seriously, like ever since we put Paul in daycare, like Anamara goes to work, like so it's literally just me in the house.
Hmm.
Like when I'm really motivated, I can get so much done. Like
Yep.
it's unbelievable. And even if like work is a slow day,
Hmm.
it's like, oh, I have the house to myself. I can
Hmm.
just relax a little bit. It's not like obviously you want your partner around, but like you're like, you know what? Like
I can deal
I
with
like
this.
this. If I want
Exactly.
to take a nap, I can take a nap. Like I
Hmm.
don't have to worry about anybody or anything. Like
Yep.
it is quite nice. It is
Yep.
quite
Yeah, but then you miss them, so it's a dilemma, you know.
It's
You,
interesting because like when you pick them up from daycare,
mhm.
you feel like a thought like $1,000,000. It's like,
Yep.
oh, hey, how are you? And then like
Yeah.
he runs to me and he's like,
Yep.
Daddy. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
great. And then we get home, he doesn't want to eat, or he's just like yelling. Then you're like, oh,
Does
okay.
two questions for you? Does he still cry when you drop him off? Did he ever cry when you drop him off?
He's done that maybe 3 times in like the 5 months or whatever he's been going to daycare.
Oh,
He
okay.
doesn't do it very often.
Yeah, she cried Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Apparently Friday she didn't cry, which surprised
Mm-hmm.
me. But that's good. And then when we come pick her, she's like walking gingerly out of the daycare, come to me, I'll carry her.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get home, like all bubbly for like the first 2 hours, like happy to be home, running around, and then putting her down is a chore. But She ends up going to bed, and then, like I said, she's been. I think she has a congestion, a runny nose and congestion.
Mm,
So like before she sleeps, we try to suction her nose.
mm.
She's like wriggling and fighting, and like she doesn't like that stuff at all.
Yeah,
So
they don't like it. They don't like
yeah,
it. We tried it with PJ over the weekend when he has runny nose. We
yeah,
just decided we'll wipe your nose. Like,
yeah.
forget it.
I mean, I just worry because is it are they able to sleep properly? Do you
Um,
know what I mean?
his sleep was kind of weird. Like at that point, like you would hear him snoring, and we did the humidifier in a room to try and make it easier on him and all that.
That's what we should probably
Uh,
get.
yeah, she definitely. I mean, we saw so luck in a sense it was lucky in that he had a vaccination, so we saw his doctor.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, it's humidifier and all that. But yeah, it's uncomfortable. The first couple of days, we had to actually bring him into our room at around midnight or 1 a.m. because he was just like freaking out and wouldn't go back to sleep.
Mm.
But he's back now. He's back now.
I mean, we've been very lucky actually because Kama is not one. She's never slept with us in the bed apart from when we travel and when we went to vacation. That's the
Oh,
only time ever. She's
that's
never
wonderful.
slept with us in bed. She's always like we can put her in her crib. She may not sleep immediately,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually she'll go to bed. But she'll just be laying there like playing with herself, making some noises.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it seems like she's crying, and on the camera I can't see her face, so I have to go in and check. But other than that, rarely an issue. So we're lucky in that respect because she's never like tried to share the bed with us. And when we do
Mm-hmm.
go on vacation and she does, it's the worst because she's trying to be all over your body and like it's the
Oh,
worst. So, we
yeah.
try to not have that because I'm already struggling for space with Amaka because she likes to spread. So you can imagine her child to spread. So I'm usually on the small slither on the bed at the end.
You're like this in the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah, PJ
Exactly.
has slept in our bed a few times, but mostly like when he's sick. So
Hmm.
like I prefer to. He's not sick that often, but we prefer to leave him in the room by himself, do his thing. But if he's like been struggling, at some point we're like, okay, you know what, come stay here. Like, and when he's interesting that whenever he's sick, he wants comfort.
Mm.
Like he's like, I'm not feeling well, hold me. That's the only
Yeah.
way this is gonna work. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, we'll do that. But luckily, he hasn't had a crutch where he's like, okay, I want to be with you all the time now. No, he goes back. He goes back to bed.
That's good.
Thankfully.
How the crib situation go? Have you reduced it again, or you still have it at the old format? Is he climbing over still? Stuff like that.
Nah, he's. I think it was a phase.
Oh, okay.
Now, like he's sleeping better. So now he just his head hits the thing, and he's just like, I'm out.
Wow,
Like
okay.
if he does wake up in the middle of the night, like I might leave him, see how he's doing. If he's like really annoyed, I just give him his pacifier again and then walk out. But he hasn't tried to like. Then he was freaking the hell out and like
Hmm.
diving out. Like now he's like whatever. He's chill. So we might maybe what I've told Amara is when he's 2, we'll bring that thing back. Like right now, I need my peace of mind until he
Yeah,
isn't.
he needs to be able to actually comprehend when you tell him, don't do that, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
he's close enough now where he's almost fully talking, right? So, or
He's
at
he's
least,
babbling still. He'll
okay.
say stuff like he says, "Hi,
Yeah,
bye,
yeah,
hello."
yeah,
He'll say
yeah,
"daddy."
yeah.
Oh, but like he does non-verbal communication a lot, where he wants something,
Hmm.
like he will walk to the table that he knows where it usually is and do his hands in the air because he knows
Hmm.
he wants like the cookies and where they are.
Mm.
So he does that, and he says "please" on and off.
Hmm.
So I think he's like maybe like a month or 2 out,
Oh,
maybe.
that's good. That's good. That's what I'm hoping to see from Kama with daycare. Hopefully, more like intentional speech. She says one thing she says a lot is baby. I don't know why she says
Mm,
baby, but she says
mm,
baby. She says baby. She says hi when she wants to. She waves when she wants to. I mean, I can tell she's picking and choosing not to answer you at that point in time. You know what I mean? But she
mm.
can do it.
Does she say baby if she's holding like a toy?
Not necessarily. No, she doesn't. She actually doesn't play with dolls like that. Actually,
Mm,
she's a very. She has one toy, but generally she just says, I don't know what it is or when she said it the first time, but just to get her to say words, we like try to make her. So we'll say baby, and she'll say baby back.
mm-hmm,
Just that
mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So have you weaned PJ off pacifiers?
No.
No.
We really tried.
Yeah,
It's
it's difficult.
it's like there are weeks. So actually, what happens is when he goes to daycare, he
Hmm.
doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Like what I because he's entertained all the time. Like it's really pacifier is to distract them when they're annoyed.
Yeah.
Because in the car, he has this thing now where he doesn't want to be put in his car seat. Like some days he's cool, other days he's like, nah, get off me. So
Mm,
you're really struggling. Like he's doing his body like this, and
mm.
like it looks like child abuse trying to put him inside. So I give him pacifier to calm him down.
Mhm,
But then the minute we get to daycare, I pull it out of his mouth, and then they take him. So
mm,
during the week he doesn't really use it, but for some reason at home, like we have to give it to him more over the weekend and stuff like
mhm,
that. Um, so we're working on that. We're working on trying to start potty training,
mm.
um, starting because these are things they're doing in daycare, right? In daycare,
Yep.
they're doing that, and I like daycare for that
Yep.
because they set the trends, they do it every day,
Yep.
and then we just have to like
Try and
add,
reinforce it. Yeah.
yeah, reinforce it with
Yeah.
them. Even like the speech when he went to daycare, the things that he comes back home saying, we're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll be like, "Oh no!" but put his hand in his face like this. "Oh no!" Like
Really?
daycare taught you that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. You know what? Actually, I saw kind of say because when she hears certain things on the TV, she knows how she reacts to it. So like Mickey Mouse Playhouse or whatever that show is comes on.
Mm,
At the end, they do this. What's the name of the song? Hot Dog Dance. It's a song,
mm,
right?
mm,
She once she hears it, she wants to get down and like start dancing like how Mickey they do this funny dance, you know. Or when we're watching football, for some reason she now knows if somebody exclaims, she does like this. Or maybe I do it too much, so she does like this when we're watching ball together. At any rise of decibel, she would like do like this and look at
mm.
me. So I find it funny. It's just seeing them like learn and stuff is very interesting.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah. That's the beautiful part of it.
yeah, man.
Beautiful.
So yeah, everybody, welcome to another episode. It's been a long week, but we're back and we're about to start another long week. God help us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, we're gonna do more of a review episode today. Um, obviously, Wandavision has ended, so we gotta conclude that.
Yep.
Um, and there's some new stuff coming out. Obviously, we're all excited for the Snyder Cut to come out of Justice League coming out on Thursday. Uh, Bernie's probably gonna watch it during the day. I'm gonna
Fam.
watch it once work ends like 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get food, sit down here, and watch it till I go to bed at 12 or whatever. So I'm just
Yeah.
that's my evening. Um, but yeah, I'm
Four
excited, man.
hours, bro.
I'm
4 hours.
excited.
I'm like, I'm gonna drop PJ off.
Hmm.
Say bye tomorrow, and once cause gonna come home. I'm gonna have my snacks bought from the day before and just sit down. This screen over here,
Hmm.
fam. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited.
See, for me, you're in the basement, so that's good. So you can have all darkness. You can feel like a movie theater. I have to
Mm-hmm.
wait till night so I can turn off everything in the house. My
Mm-hmm.
TV is pretty big, so I'm sure that you know, the effects will be good. I'll crack my speakers. I don't care about neighbors at that point. I'll watch it in full effect. I'm just hoping I'm not too. I'm gonna try my best to sleep properly this week, so I'm not too tired. Because sometimes by Thursday, I'm like finished. So it's be difficult for me to stay up, but I'm gonna definitely try.
It's the good thing about it is that it's in chapters, right?
Yep.
So it's 7 chapters, and from what I understand, I don't think the way I have because in Canada we get HBO on Crave, so I'm watching it on that. But for you guys at HBO Max, apparently, you know how YouTube videos like they have like you can see chapter markers and you
Oh,
can go to
really? It will
them
be
if you
like
want
that?
to. Yeah, that's what they're saying that you can do on
Okay,
HBO
good.
Max because they know that it's 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
And if it was in theaters, it would never be a 4 hour movie.
Well,
Basically,
he.
they're saying because it's not in theaters, Zach, any footage that you have, put it in this movie,
Hmm.
and we'll release it. And they put chapter markers so that if you want to take a break, you and literally like it, has text and everything in the
Oh,
movie.
chapter
Say
2 and chapter 4.
chapter one,
Yep.
this, then
Yep.
the next scene starts. So like if you actually want to take a break and pause and not feel too bad about it, you can
Yeah.
do that.
Oh,
It's
that's
fire.
great. Actually, I didn't realize that. I mean, I watched a full, I think, IGN interview with him 2 days ago.
Mm,
I think it happened on the last weekend, so I watched it a few days ago. And he did say that it was in chapters. I didn't know that it was going to be markers, but he did say he filmed it as different collections, different story lines in different chapters.
mm.
Um, so that's interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably gonna try to watch at least. I don't. They're not strictly like um an hour each. It's not four. I don't know
No,
if it's. I
they're
don't know if it's four
they're
chapters, but
they're different. Like one of them
different
is
lengths.
45 minutes, one of them is an hour and a
Yep,
half.
yep,
So
yep.
like it's kind of yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not sure I'm gonna necessarily follow that, but I'm just gonna pause it when I don't feel. Actually, there's no point in pausing unless I'm going to get something or use the bathroom. Really and truly, there's no
Yeah.
really real reason to pause it. Because you pause it, are you pausing it to watch something else and come back to it? No,
Yeah.
you're pausing just
So
to use the bathroom.
yeah. So he did say there's an interview that he did where he said, "Here's where I suggest you pause if you want to pause." Um, it's on Grace Randolph Beyond the Trailers, the YouTube channel.
Mm,
He did an interview with her, and essentially it's after chapter 3. He
okay.
says if you want to, I think it's after chapter 3. Anyway, if you watch that video, he explains it where he says you can either watch it all if you want, but if you really feel like you can't do that, here are the points that I think he said. This might be good for a 10-minute break. This is good for a longer break if you need. So it's
Oh,
all it's all he's trying to because they were actually going to release it as episodes, like like a mini series,
yeah,
not in now that they brought to HBO Max, but then they couldn't work out the contracts with the actors because
yeah,
they pay you differently. So they
yeah,
said, fine, we'll release it as one big thing, but here are chapter markers. Here's where you can take your break. But I'm watching it all the way through, taking no
yeah.
breaks.
No, yeah. I don't think I'm going to. I mean, I literally probably the only thing we use the bathroom. But I'm thinking of when I watch like any series, I can watch four in a row. I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily get up, so I shouldn't have any reason to. I'm just the only thing I'm afraid of is that's why I want to start it early enough, like 6, 7,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't get anywhere close to 11 o'clock or 12. Because if
Yeah.
I do, I know I'll be tired. That personally, so it's best to
The
try to
good
get it
thing
in.
from the reviews that I've seen, and it's just like so they've released the embargo a day early. So critics and anyone who's seen it can do social media reviews, but you can't like release your like full write up or anything like that
Okay.
until tomorrow. So I've been reading the social media reviews and retweeting anything I saw because I'm
Oh,
that kind of person.
well, first of all, there's not like YouTubers or something. It's actual like critics,
Oh,
writers.
YouTubers and critics too.
Also, I can find reviews of people that watched it. I mean, but they can't say too much though.
They can't say too much. All those guys are doing is they're reading the tweets that they put out because
Okay.
you're allowed to do social media, but not like anything else.
Okay.
So the way that they did this was obviously critics get to see movies early, right? And then like, all that stuff. But because he wanted to reward the fans, he let some fans watch it early. So there was like a sweepstakes or whatever.
Hmm.
So some fans, especially and also fans who were like pushing the movement, he let them watch it before anybody. So a lot of them have put out their social media reviews. Critics have put out their reviews today, and everything so far, even the ones that hate on it, are like, "This is much better than what you got in 2017."
Yeah.
They're like, "It's not my thing, but it's better." But
Yeah.
like everyone else, like it is overwhelmingly positive so far. And people, what's interesting is almost everyone said the same thing where they were like, "It doesn't feel like 4 hours." Some of them are
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it doesn't have to be 4 hours." But even those people are saying like it's long, or like but it doesn't feel like it's 4
Yeah.
hours. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm happy about that.
Yeah. I'm glad that it engages you, and at least keeps you to that. I'm very it's very saddening that it didn't really come out how it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
That's, the whole timeline he had can't be real life. I mean, it can be. Again, we're lucky, or he's lucky rather, that people know that his storyline is not necessarily not based on anything Marvel did, or any, or the whole superheroes coming together or whatever. Obviously, both comics have those arcs anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like he's copying from Marvel or anything. Um, but some of the stuff he wrote, like Batman dying, sacrificing himself, that's so Iron Man dying, sacrificing himself.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, but then again, like I said, the comics already existed. So like Tony Stark's character was always the leader, even though he was the human.
Mm-hmm.
Batman was always the leader, even though he was a human. So I mean, I don't know if the original people that wrote it copied each other or followed the same format. Probably.
Actually, you're on the money in
Yeah.
that. Not necessarily Batman and Iron Man, per se, but so DC and Marvel, a lot of the writers and the artists just rotate around
Yeah.
both companies.
Yeah.
So a lot of ideas get kind of like reused in some
Hmm.
way, shape, or manner. So,
Hmm.
for example, Batman being a billionaire and smart and having gadgets, and Iron Man being a billionaire, smart. Yes, he has an exosuit and all that, but like it's the same principle.
Yep.
They're the ones that are more of a coincidence than anything else. But like, let's take Thanos and Darkseid.
Yep.
They're the same thing. They're created by the same guy. Like,
Yep. Looking for the same
it
stuff, looking for the same
yeah,
existential like elements. The whole mother boxes and stones is exactly the same concept.
yeah,
You know,
and it's by the same writer. In fact, the story of them is Jack Kirby was at Marvel
mhm,
and wanted to release this what you call Ragnarok story, right?
mhm,
And Marvel were like, "This is fucking crazy. The
mhm,
fuck out of here!"
mhm,
And then he argued with them, and he left. The DC were like, "Come on!" And he's like, "I will come." Part of his contract was, "I need to put out my own projects. I need total creative control." They were like, "Fuck it, come here and do it."
mhm,
And that was New Gods, Dark Side, all that stuff, and it was so successful. And
mhm,
then later he came back to Marvel, and they were like, "Okay, do your thing." And then he came up with the Eternals. So that movie's
mhm.
coming out, and that's where Thanos comes from. So
Okay, yeah.
Darkseid and all that stuff came out first,
First,
and
yeah.
then Thanos came out afterwards. And even look at Deadpool. Deadpool and Deathstroke look exactly the same. Deathstroke
Yep,
came first, and then Deadpool came after.
yep.
Like it's like there's Black Panther, and then DC has Bronze Tiger. Like it's the same shit. But Black Panther came first. It's just like people just need to let that go. They copy each other all the time. Let it go.
Yeah, I think so. From that point of view, everyone that's hot for this or like is really waiting for these things will never judge it from that point of view. They won't be judging, oh, this is just a rip off Marvel or whatever. They'll be judging it as a standalone movie. They'll be judging it as the Snyder cut, which we were robbed of in 20 whatever, was it 17? What was it, 17?
2017, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. So that's what it will be judged as, and I'm glad about that. I mean, we're not gonna have. I mean, we'll probably still have competing factions, DC, Marvel type arguments, but you know, most people are not gonna watch it with that in mind. They're just gonna watch it to see what was supposed to be. And I'm hoping 2 and 3 can come out and maintain the thoughts that he had.
So
Stuff like that.
that is a very interesting point because him and Warner Brothers have some beef, right? Like obviously, and
Hmm.
HBO and AT&T are sort of in the middle, being like, "Shut the fuck up, we're
Can
doing
make
this."
money here. Let's do it.
Exactly. So a lot of people, in fact, Walter Hamada, who runs DC Films on the Warner Brothers side, in an interview said, "This is just a cul-de-sac. It's not going anywhere, right? This is it." And Zack Snyder's been saying, "This is it. This is it." But a lot of people who are in the industry are like, "Listen, Warner Brothers gave him 70 million to finish the visual effects and finish his movie. They're not going to do that and spend all this money on marketing just to be like, this is it.
Hmm.
If it's received well and HBO Max gets a whole ton of subscribers, they're gonna let him do whatever the hell he wants from here. In fact, here's what you're gonna get, and here's some tea from people who know stuff. Okay, Ben Affleck is gonna do a solo Batman miniseries.
Miniseries.
Apparently,
Okay.
it's done. Like,
Hmm.
as long as this is good and people like it, like Justice League, he's gonna do that because this Robert Pattinson Batman movie was never supposed to happen
Uh-huh.
with Matt Reeves. It was
Is that
supposed to
still
be
coming out still though?
yeah. They just
Okay.
finished filming.
Okay, good.
So the Batman is supposed to be Ben Affleck, Deathstroke, uh, essentially Deathstroke killing everyone in Batman's life.
Mm,
I think Joker would have been in it. That was the idea.
mm.
But Ben Affleck didn't like what happened with Justice League, got into alcoholism, said I need to get out of this shit. Like, I'm done.
Hmm.
So then he recommended Matt Reeves, who was his friend and director of The Accountant, and then that happened. But the rumor is, and it's a very strong rumor from insiders who have not been wrong, is that Ben Affleck's going to do a miniseries with Deathstroke, and that will be his final thing. The other
As
thing is
Batman.
Jared Leto will come back either in that miniseries or his own to the Joker, and you might get Justice League 2. So it's like 3 or 4 different things can like kind of evolve out of this.
But Robert Pattinson's Batman is going to be separate still and come out on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to have? Do you know what villain's going to be in that?
In the Batman,
Yeah.
the Riddler is a villain in it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Who's playing that again? I think I saw the posters for that.
Paul Dano. Paul Dano is the Riddler.
From where?
Catwoman's in it. So that's what's her name? Because Kravitz,
Zoe.
Zoe Kravitz, yeah.
Who's the?
Penguin's in it too.
Who's the Penguin? Is what's his face?
Colin
The
Farrell.
Irish guy, Colin Farrell. Who's the Riddler again?
Paul Dano. I've seen him in something, but I don't remember what I've seen him in.
Oh,
But he's supposedly a good actor, so we'll see.
I don't know what he looks like. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But anyways, so yeah, that's looking forward to that. Honestly, I just can't wait to watch this thing. I'm kind of glad I am where I am right now. Well, but I can watch it, without encumbrance.
Yeah.
So, so I've seen the
Yeah.
guy. This guy's well, I can see the Riddler in him, really, but he's very young. Saying that
Yeah.
he's 4 years older than me, so he's not that young. Um, but yeah, come Thursday, I'll be here with my dinner and then some snacks, and I'll settle down and enjoy it. And then Friday, take it easy at work, and then Saturday, I'm off again. But yeah, hopefully it comes out good.
I'm very excited. I've seen every teaser, every trailer.
Every
Man,
review.
this last trailer, my God.
When did that come out? This evening?
Like around like 3-4 o'clock.
Okay, I don't think I've seen it.
All I'll say is Zack Snyder's insane.
Or maybe I have.
He's insane.
I mean, what else? The funny thing is, all these things. Because in that, I also watched a interview where Zack came on someone's podcast that was interviewing Ray Taylor.
Oh, Ray
who
Porter.
is Ray Porter,
You saw
who is
the film junkie vodka stream.
yes,
Yeah.
where Zack came on, and how well, first of all, he as a director, he probably has editing skills. Obviously, he will, but he's doing a lot of these things on his own. Like, not on his own, but like he's cutting.
He's front.
He's
Yeah,
cutting
he's doing a trailer.
those trailers on his own. Well, not his
Yeah.
own, but like the idea for that trailer with the what's the name of the song again?
Hallelujah.
So no, the one that's the song for that one where they're just going over the mother box and like his pictures of everyone's story in like a mosaic. What's it called? Time. Yes, Time. He loves that song, by the way. It was in BVS, wasn't it?
I don't
think
know
I
where
remember
else
hearing.
I heard it.
I've heard him. I think it was in BVS. But anyways, Yeah, he was saying that how he did all that, and how they came up with that whole thing, and which was genius, by the way. And I'm yet to see anyone that's reviewed each frame of that to try to find the Easter eggs and everything.
Oh,
Do you know, has anyone?
I'll send you a few guys.
Okay,
I'll
good,
send you a few
good.
guys.
Because
There are a couple guys who went like, "Yo, what is this?" Like, yeah.
yeah, frame by.
There's a group called Cinema Blend.
Mhm.
So there's a guy who wrote a book, the Release of Snyder Cut book, which came out on March 1st. He did. He and his girl Hannah, they do like a weekly video of Release of Snyder Cut stuff.
Mhm.
From different angles. They reviewed that thing and they tried to find every single Easter egg. It was good.
Yeah, because that would be amazing to see. I'm curious to know what each like little thing is, and like all the different story arches that are in there. You know, very fascinating, man. I really wish I was creative enough to do these things.
Seriously.
Also,
Like, you know what? Like, if the people want us to do like actual, deep dive episodes that are separate from everything else, I am very much down.
I told you that we should do a live stream watch or record ourselves watching, but you're gonna watch it in the morning. I'm gonna watch it at night, so let's not do that. But we can also we'll definitely have a long, breakdown talk about it after.
Yeah.
Definitely have to. I'm gonna actually try if I remember. I might not remember because I might be too engrossed. Try to write down stuff I want to talk about, different points, stuff like that, so we can review it together properly. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, we could do a bunch of shit. Just go down that path because
I'm
it's
there, man. I will be taking notes.
yeah, yeah,
Like, might as
definitely,
well. Might as well.
definitely,
I
definitely.
might even watch it twice by the time you've seen it. Who knows? Let's see how my day goes.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, so we're looking forward to that. Other thing that we want to talk about was something you were not too enthused about it by the end of it. It sounds like Wandavision. What, you were disappointed at the way it ended?
Um, so let me say this first because I like the show. I actually think it was a good show.
Yeah,
It's my expectations were ruined, but I think when I take a step back, because also I'm a DC guy, not a Marvel guy, so it's very easy for me to, be
judge them.
hypercritical about Marvel stuff. But it's a good show. It's just there were a couple things that annoyed the shit out of me, and we'll get into that. And I couldn't and listening to interviews from people who made the show after, I'm like, are you dumb? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I expected. There's a few things that happened that I thought they would dig into more by the end, or maybe they're just preserving it for something else. I don't. First of all, it's not something they can do continual series on, is it? Do you think? Can they?
I think this is it.
This is it. But things could shoot from it though. Definitely, what's her
Mm-hmm.
face's arch has she has to have something on her own. What's her name? Monica.
Monica.
Monica has
Monica's gonna
something.
be in Captain Marvel too.
The movie.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what I heard? So Kevin Feige gave an interview. I didn't watch it, but I saw like some outtakes of it. And essentially, he's saying that these shows are one and done shows. But the whole point is to give these characters who may not get a movie more of a grounding
Depth.
and
More depth.
expansion,
Yeah.
so that when
In
you
the
see them in the
movie,
next movie, because
you
they
know
will
what
obviously
they are.
Marvel links everything, right? Like
Yeah.
this will link to Doctor Strange,
Mm,
Multiverse of Madness directly,
mm.
like absolutely directly. They're gonna reference what happened in WandaVision, but
Okay.
it's a way for them because Wanda's always been like a side character, right? So
Yeah.
this is now like movies might be a little bit risky. Like she's not gonna
Hmm.
make $500 million, but we can
Hmm.
do this and then
Hmm.
lead her into the movie. I think it's actually a very good strategy.
Yeah, because well, first of all, before I say anything else, because that was I forgot what I wanted to say, so fuck it. Um, but with Monica, I expected more
Mm-hmm.
by way of what they did with her at the end. They showed us she has some kind of powers. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what the passing through the wall did to her, all of that. But I expected her to have some role in the final battle, which was disappointing. One, two, what's her name's powers and the whole witch story and everything. Obviously, Wanda is the Scarlet Witch. We knew that was not an issue. To bring up another witch that was competing with her that sucks powers from everyone. Okay, I get it. It's a deviation from the typical Marvel baddie. I think, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, it's not as actiony. But then again, Marvel is not as action involved as DC likes to be. They do have
Mm-hmm.
their moments, but they're not. They rather do magic and stuff like that than real gritty fights,
Mm-hmm.
which is their standard. But I was well, what's the point of this? What is the point of they were having this whole battle in the sky, and we all thought she was missing, but she was putting runes in the sky. Okay, cool. Like that wasn't impressive to
Yeah.
me. Like it was just okay,
Yeah.
man. Like it was okay. She's smart, cool. She was playing her all the time, cool. I get it, but like it wasn't. I don't know. It didn't. It underwhelmed me. I'll be honest with you. And
I
again,
felt that the show was going in a good direction, and then it was Agatha, oh la la, whatever. I was like, huh. I actually thought that didn't serve the story much. I would have preferred if it was this emotional, psychological,
you know,
character study. Because think about it, right? She's held an entire
town.
town hostage,
Yep.
essentially, because she's trying to live this fake life with her husband, who is a symbiotic, being,
Hmm.
essentially, like this android, really. But she's so depressed. Like this
Hmm.
is a story about mental health,
Yep.
really.
Yep.
And I thought that there was an opportunity to tell us something, not like the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix that deep, but like there was an opportunity to use the magic, the comic book lore, and all that to really dive into her in crisis
Yep.
and get her out of that crisis. Where I felt this Agatha thing made it a bit cartoonish to me,
Cartoonish. Yep.
and then like they had to throw in some weird stuff like Ralph Boner. I was like, what?
First of all,
What?
poor guy who is Quicksilver. Oh, no, what is he in X-Men?
Quicksilver, yeah.
Quicksilver. Who we talked. I think we talked about him in the first four, right? In the first
Mm,
few episodes we reviewed, and it's like, okay, Quicksilver and Wanda's brother. What's his name again?
Pietro.
Pietro is supposed to be Quicksilver too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, first of all, interchanging the X-Men Quicksilver with this guy, it seemed a little bit clever at first. I didn't know what angle they were going for, but then for them to do Ralph Boner, like, so what does that mean for this guy in X Men now? Is he just a lame like character? Why did he even agree to do that? You know what
A
I mean?
lot of
Like,
people were saying that like this could be a very clever way of bringing, now that they've bought the Fox characters, right? So X-Men is now on board.
mhm,
This could be a great way to introduce them softly into the MCU world,
yep,
right? And I like we talked about it. It was in my head. It was a genius move,
hmm,
like to bring him in, recast, and even the recast joke. Because sometimes shows just do that, right? They
hmm,
recast people. I honestly thought it was brilliant, and for it to be Ralph Butler, just it was such a letdown. Like,
yep,
and the interview I was referencing before, the showrunner was like, "Well, we didn't want him to just feel like a prank." I'm like, "But he did because he called
yep,
him Ralph Boner." Like,
yep,
what?
yep, yep. It made no sense. I don't know why they did that, and it was very underwhelming. And then the fact that he or whatever magic Agatha put in his room was holding Monica in it, and then she just had to realize that everything was a some kind of parody, and then she broke out. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just like
Yeah, I didn't
this
get that.
doesn't really do anything for the whole story. You could have made Monica show her powers more than she did. At
Mm-hmm.
least a little bit, so we could see what she can do. Because at this point, we still don't know what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a little bit, but we don't know what she can do. And then what's the deal with White's vision just flying off? Like, what did he realize? I thought maybe regular vision would have gone into him and been Wanda's companion, at least make that be the, farewell. Maybe bring him back that way. I know White Vision exists in MCU, but like, why do that? Why not just? I mean, maybe they don't get together, leave him white, but put everything. Well, I guess regular Vision gave him all his memories, so he knew who he was at the end of the day, right?
I actually like that.
Well, why did he fly
Because
away? I don't know. Flying away and just disappearing without saying anything else, or meeting Wanda made no sense, or talking to Wanda and letting her know he knew what was. You know what I mean? It didn't
yeah,
make sense to me.
so wait, actually I forgot that part. I know that okay, they had their fight, which by the way, that whole fight is Man of Steel.
Yep.
Like I don't know, someone literally did a scene frame by frame, and it's like Man of Steel fight. Like that's all that is. It's like, come on,
Really,
guys.
Zod and Superman.
When Zod in Man of Steel they come to Smallville and basically they're harassing his mom, and
Mhm.
he's like, "You can't threaten my mom!" And like he just grabs him and punches him in the ground, and they're flying
Mhm.
and they're doing it, and then he throws him
Mhm.
into a building. It's the same thing. Like this guy called Film Gob just was like, "Guys, look at this." It almost looks frame for frame. It's hilarious. But I like the fight, but I like the fact that Vision is an android, but obviously he's intellectual,
Mhm.
right? So they had a
Intellectual talk.
philosophical discussion,
Yeah.
and then he gave him the memories, and I was like, to me, that was the most interesting thing in the whole finale. Everything else, I was like, I don't care.
Mhm.
Like, and again, I don't want it to sound like I'm hating. It's just the finale annoyed me. Like,
Yep.
you know, I didn't even remember that he just flew off.
Yeah. He
Because
just
now
took
I have
off.
questions. Where'd you fly off to?
Exactly.
Like,
Why did he fly off?
what are you about to do?
What's the deal
Like,
with you and Wanda? Or did you realize somebody was doing something bad and you have to go stop somebody? But then again, they arrested what's his face for committing the crime. So where did you
so he
go?
has no one
What's the
to seek
reason?
revenge on now.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
What's the point? So didn't make sense. It pissed that annoyed me. I didn't like that at all.
The other thing
And
of that, in terms of like of that being annoying and my expectations is, so Paul Bettany, who plays Vision, was like, guys, I can't wait for you to see this as a huge cameo at the end of this series. And everyone's trying to guess who is this huge cameo. People were like, is it Magneto? Like this is what people were trying to figure out, like,
Mhm.
and Mephisto and all this stuff, right? Because of the magic and stuff. They were
Mhm.
even saying that Doctor Strange is going to be in it, and apparently there was discussions, and Benedict Cumberbatch was like, it didn't work out. But the cameo he ended up talking about was White Vision. I'm like, you guys have just, you gave me the Quicksilver link, you gave me this cameo idea, and you let me down on both fronts. Like, come on.
Exactly. I mean, it was disappointing. They could have done much more, but overall, like you said, the series was good. It did what it was supposed to do. It confused us in the beginning, brought us in the middle, and then left us in the end. So, I mean, it's all right. Now we know Wanda is powerful. Now we know she's Scarlet Witch. Cool.
Mm,
Now we know Agatha and there's other witches. Cool. Now we know Monica Rambo and the Rambo family, and she has some link with up there. And by the
mm-hmm.
way, that I don't know what the alien is called. I know they have a name of their
The
people.
Scrolls?
Scrolls,
Maybe?
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. They were the ones at the end of one of the Avengers movies or something that were
Mm-hmm.
talking, and they were disguised uh as
It's been ages since I watched
what's
that
his
show.
face's character. Oh God,
Nick Fury?
Fury. Yes, they were Fury and what's her name? This sidekick, you know. But
Oh, the
they
girl
were
from
in,
How I
they
Met
were in
Your
the
Mother.
car driving, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
switched from their skin to, or vice versa, and we realized
Mm-hmm.
that they were not really who they were. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
then I believe in the same story, Fury and her were actually in space doing something in the
Mm-hmm.
scroll ship or something, whatever they're called, right? So when the person pointed up, two things: is this Fury she's talking about, and Captain Marvel, or just Captain Marvel, or whatever? I think
Definitely
it's
Captain Marvel is involved in that.
and if
Definitely.
just based on the movie, There's no way. It was actually Captain Marvel where they had
Well,
this close.
Fury is in that
Fury is
too,
in there.
and he's integral to the second one as well. So
Exactly.
it could go either way.
But he did
Definitely,
go to space at the end, did he?
yeah, he did.
Because he rescued that whole family of Skrulls or what? Didn't they? Wasn't there something like that?
I have to watch that one again. That movie was
Yeah.
boring as hell, so I don't
Yeah.
remember everything in it.
Yeah. But I think either way, Shap, it was okay. I mean, but they could have given her more at that point. But to your point of scenes being carbon copies, you've seen the have you seen any of the clips of old Disney movies that just reuse scenes?
I think it was Jungle Book and
Jungle Book,
something.
Tomcats, Jungle Book, and Winnie the Pooh had the same
Yeah,
scene for what's the guy's name, Peter and Mowgli climbing up a thing. Then there's many other dancing clips with Dalmatians and top not Top Cats. What's the name of the? There's another cats based show. They had a dog one and a cat one. I think it was not Top Cats. Was it Top Cats?
I
Anyways,
don't. It's
old
escaping me.
cartoons.
But I know I saw the clip on Twitter. I think I know the exact clip that you're even
Yep.
talking about.
Even Mowgli and Baloo and um, Robin Hood, where
Mm-hmm.
little John is a bear.
Mm-hmm.
The dancing sequences are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like so. It's very interesting that they do that. So I'm not surprised that the fight scene. I mean, I am surprised because they don't really meet
But they're
up.
different. They're different companies,
So
right?
unless they hired the same person, he just was lazy and just used the same pattern. You know, that's unfortunate, but it does happen apparently.
By the way, I mean, I think honestly, it's because if you watch Man of Steel again, the fight sequences are actually ahead of their time in that
Yeah,
movie. So
yeah.
it's very inspiring to a lot of people. And
Also,
if I remember correctly, the WandaVision director is a fan of Man of Steel. If I remember that correctly,
I mean, also it could be the CGI person was just the same person.
it could be. It could
CGI's,
be.
I guess the CGI companies could be the same companies, and you know, what I mean, I don't know if they belong to studios, exclusively. I don't know how that works, but it's conceivable that's just the same person, and he just used the template. Um,
So interestingly, that's a great point. So I'll say two things. So we talked off air about Superman and Lois.
mhm.
The um the Have you watched The Witcher on Netflix?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the cinematographer from The Witcher is a cinematographer on this show. So you
Okay.
remember you were asking like on Twitter, like how does it look better than CW? It's like HBO budget, but they've got these guys. So there are certain action themes that feel they don't look the same, just feel the same. But also those guys are very big fans of Man of Steel as well. So the color palette and some of the fights are very reminiscent of that too. So it's
But
all like
but that would make
coming around.
sense if you're trying to keep some unity, I guess,
Yeah.
in what you're doing. I mean, I know CW. I don't even know how they have the right to keep doing superhero things. I guess. No, I'm not sure what the link is between them and.
CW is owned by Warner Brothers. That's why.
Okay, so that's why forever I've always wondered why they could do Smallville, why they could do Flash, why they could do Arrow, all those kind of things.
Hmm.
But again, because of the shows I just mentioned, Flash and Arrow specifically, which I was very big into in college, or was in college. Anyways, after whenever it was popular, I think
Yeah.
Arrow started in college. Arrow started as a long ago. Arrow actually lasted a long while. I'm
Arrow
actually
was good for a long
for a
time, and
good
then I
long
turned
time,
it
and then
off.
it started crashing. And then Flash to me started off okay. I was watching it and I got tired of it. And I just abandoned
I
it.
still watch Flash in the background. I can never like give it all my time,
Yeah.
but it's a background show if I'm doing something else. Listen to something.
See, I can't do background shows. I can only do background YouTube channel and stuff. I can't do background shows. I need to watch it. The only thing I've done background a little bit, and I can't do it now that I'm getting more invested is The Office. But that's another
Mm-hmm.
story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like what was I even talking about? I forgot now. Shit. God damn it.
While
Oh, the
you're figuring that
CW.
out.
Yeah,
Oh
no.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so like, why would they? That's why I was skeptical about it because like, why should I expect anything better from Superman and
Right.
Lewis. Why would you guys be talking about it? Why would you even bother watching it? You know, even one of the show that I liked, and I don't think it was CW, it was more CBS, was Gotham. I love
Mm-hmm.
Gotham. I started it. I never really finished it and followed it every episode by episode. I kind of saw the end when he kind of started moving like Batman.
Mm.
Um, but even that one just got a little bit crazy to me at the end. So
Yeah.
you know,
I never actually watched that one. I never
it
did. It
wasn't it
sounded.
wasn't it wasn't bad. It was good. Seeing him grow up and the angry kid into teenager and into his uh early late teens, early 20s before he actually goes and meets Ra's al Ghul. Actually, no, he did meet Ra's al Ghul from a young age. I think
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong, but I know there was some kind of Ra's al. So before he got his full training,
Mm-hmm.
he had definitely met Ra's al Ghul, and
Okay.
obviously Alfred was teaching him how to fight and stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. That makes
so
sense.
it was actually okay. It was good, and when he grew up, he just never got tall and big ever, which I wish he could at least start bulking up so he could think that he actually could keep carrying that character. Maybe they'll bring him back at some point, but I doubt it. But
Right.
I liked he carried the character for a young kid properly. Even Selena Kyle's character too was annoying, but it was annoying how you would think a teenage Selena Kyle might be annoying.
Right.
That kind of thing, and their whole
Mm.
relationship, and all the villains in that too were pretty good. Like the Riddler in that was pretty good. Who else was in there? The Penguin was pretty good. Well, he was very annoying, and his whole walk and how he was deformed, and his mother was like a Russian old lady who was crazy. Also, it was pretty good, and
What
even Jim Gordon, and his whole relationships and stuff like that were pretty good. One
What
thing
did you
that
think
pissed me
of
off
the
though
Joker
was
in that show? Because like I've seen clips of it,
the
but like
Joker, the teenage one, pretty intense, bro. Actually, if that guy took it to the movies, people may like him as much as they did. What's his face?
Heath
Uh, yeah,
or Joaquin.
he
Oh wow.
he
Okay.
was insane. He looked insane. He embodied what you would think the Joker might be like. I kudos to the kid. He did a very good job.
Okay.
I used to think he was the same person that did the It clown, but he wasn't the same guy. They look alike, but yeah, he was pretty good. So if you ever get a chance, it's long. It has like maybe 12, 13, 12, 13 seasons, and it's like 20 something episodes per season. Pretty quick though, but if you ever get a chance to go back and watch it, I mean, if you
All right.
like Batman, I know you like Batman.
Yeah.
I would give it a try.
Okay.
But expect it to be more in the Arrow type drama type thing than action because
I'm
yeah,
very okay with that. I'm very
yeah.
okay with that.
So, and then also, have you heard of Pennyworth?
I have heard of it. I haven't started watching it.
I never
I heard
watched
it's
it
actually
either.
good.
I
Someone
heard it's
told me it
good. I
was
heard
good.
it's obviously you know what it is about Alfred's
Mhm.
background and stuff like that as a British spy or intelligence officer or whatever, and how he came to America. I'm sure that they'll get to that part, but it's more about him and his
Mhm.
adventures before he became the Butler. So I've been curious about it, but I just haven't gone back to watch it.
I want
But
to watch that, and I want to watch Krypton. Krypton I haven't seen yet, but
Krypton
it
I
keeps popping
watched.
up.
Krypton I
Is it good?
watched. I liked
Uh,
it. I
all
fell
right.
off, and then no, watch it. It's good. I
Okay.
just didn't. It's more House of L than anything, and I'm not really. It didn't really grab me as much as I would like because it's pretty much like Kal-El's parents type backstory or the House of
Hmm.
L's backstory, and there's a Zod in there, and the Zods they're black, which was interesting, you know. But the Zods are their backstory and why they're how they are um, is apparent in there. Um,
I'm into that.
General Zod was like a deadbeat, and his daughter was in the army too. And he was cast away, and he came back and tried to win back, and he became whatever they call their ruler for a while. And it was pretty good. I think it was only one season though.
You know what? I'm
I
gonna
haven't
watch it.
seen it.
because
Yeah,
I mean, I got this book, The Last Days of Krypton, so you can see I'm very into like,
yeah,
you know,
nice.
so
I just noticed the hoodie you're wearing too, dude. When you're buying these things, tell me so I can I can buy
I
also.
should. I actually should.
You should
I
have
actually
told me
should.
because
Yo,
I mean
this is all the
that's
logos.
that's the get up for Thursday,
Yeah, I'm wearing this. Oh man, I'm not playing.
dude. You should have
I'm
told
not
me,
playing.
man.
I
I'm
also wanted
jealous.
to. I also wanted to support because like half of the proceeds of this go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention
Suicide prevention, yeah.
for what this movie is supporting as well.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'll make my contribution this way. It took a while to get to show up in the mail because it came from the States, but
Oh yeah, okay.
um,
Actually, I'll look. Where would you go to an official website to buy it?
I went to it's called Ink to the People, but also you can get them from like DC shop, like there's a DC store, like DC comic shop or DC shop, something like that. It'll probably show up quicker for you. But
Hopefully,
yeah. Oh,
hopefully.
before I forget,
Hmm.
uh, you're a Game of Thrones fan,
Yes, sir.
so you will like the fact that um, so Zack Snyder's Justice League, people are calling it, Lord of the Rings of superhero movies, right?
Hmm.
But they're also saying it feels like 8 seasons of Game of Thrones in 4 hours. Like, obviously, it's not the same story beats, but like they're talking about the epicness and the fantasy of it with the history lesson and stuff like that.
Hmm.
The interesting part is the cinematographer for
Yep.
this movie
Yep.
is the same cinematographer who did Game of Thrones and Battle of the Bastards. I
Well,
was like,
did he do the
okay,
whole movie, or because what I saw that they emphasized that battle from the history, the first time Darkseid came to Earth.
he is a cinematographer. I don't know if he's the cinematographer
Yeah,
on Justice
the
League.
way I understood it was that it was just for that scene or for that chapter
It
that
might be,
he directed that battle, which was over 20 some minutes of battle.
which excites the hell out of me.
Yeah, I
Because Battle
mean,
of the Bastards was some
now that
serious
I think about
shit.
it, I'm like, wow, I remember that was an hour long of full on battle in the dark. You know, I still remember the shots of the dragons going up in the cloud and the moon and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty
So,
intense, man. Game of Thrones could have ended. Could have been so much better. The last two seasons, God, they could have done so much more
what
if
I
they.
don't even last two. I'm only thinking of that last one. So was it season 8 or what was it?
It. Yes, the last one, but I feel like they started regressing from season six. I
Hmm.
think they started. You could tell some of the writing they didn't follow up with some of the arch. Like I forget their names, but there was a character in like season three that showed up to talk to. I forget Sir. I
Cersei.
forget in the character the same the market where Daenerys almost drank poison.
Mm.
One of
Mm.
them met with a when they were in Pentos or one of those places where she met the fat black guy. One they were in a garden and one of them spoke to who was supposed to be one of the sand snakes or one of the people from
Mm-hmm.
whatever wearing a veil. They never showed her face, but she
Mm-hmm.
said some like deep stuff in the. They never followed up with that character. We never knew who she was.
Mm-hmm.
We never got
Mm.
that. I mean
That's a
obviously
shame.
it was from early, but like things like that didn't pay off, and there's a lot of stuff that didn't pay off.
That last season was just
A
me and
lot of
Amara
stuff.
like watched. We never watched it until and then like in that 2 year break we watched everything and
I
got
said,
caught up
I said,
only for that.
I said before. Amaka was always like, "What was this Game of Thrones stuff?" Literally, it was supposed to come out when was it supposed to come out? And I forget
It
what
was,
season we were in, but like Amaka watched it in a couple of months, and then we watched it again before this new season started. Like
mm-hmm.
we went through it twice in a year, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much, and she loved it so much too. So like it's crazy. Whenever I think
that
about it and watch the like the first season, when you see the difference between first season and the end, how young Daenerys looked, and I guess that was on purpose, but
I'm
they
considering
all
watching it again to be honest.
they all look different. I mean, I don't know.
Like
maybe
I
we
think I'm
can
gonna try and go through it again.
maybe we can make a series of it. But when do you want to do it? Soon? Because honestly, I'm finding too
I,
many new things to do, and I don't have
there's
time.
it's got to be when there's like a slow period,
Yeah.
like because
No, we
there's
should.
a
I think
lot going on
I
right
think
now.
if you I'll be down to do it and do a series of reviews for that. Like, do season one, episodes 1 to 4 or something, and review it, and then continue every half season review,
Yeah,
and then just keep going.
I'm down with that. I'm
Because
down.
now I know when I watched it with Amaka, I was watching it with more eyes on what was going on. Like I
Mm.
saw more things, I understood more things, I recollected more things, I understood better what they were trying to do.
We could do something kind of like revisiting the last season. Like, is it as bad as as we think it is?
If we're gonna do it, I'm gonna watch the whole thing because I don't want to be upset. I don't want to watch crap. See, the thing about those episodes, the thing about it was so like they didn't pay off the fact that they slept together properly, you know, and the fucking R.L. Martin still hasn't brought out the fucking book.
Mhm.
I read those things after I watched the first episodes or the first season. I went back and read all the books up to date, and this bastard guy hasn't brought anything out yet.
That guy's slacking generally. There's so many
He will
things
now
he
he
needs
will,
to do.
he will now go and die and will not get it for another 10 years until they can clear it and share it to the world.
It's
No,
all
kind of bullshit. And he better not end it with a fucking King Bran because that's some bullshit. I think he forgot about that crap.
I remember how angry I was, man.
Honestly, like they didn't pay off the Lightbringer, or whoever the hell the prince that was promised. They didn't pay off anything. None of that paid off.
Also, what's his
Nothing.
name? What was his name? Jon Snow was a
Hmm.
bitch. Like I
They
was so
didn't pay off.
angry.
They didn't pay off anything. They didn't pay off
Did all of
anything.
this just for him to be a bitch? Like, oh
They didn't pay
god.
off anything. They didn't pay off anything. I'm telling you
Oh,
honestly,
man.
it upsets me when I think about it because and it was so well shot that they could have done so much more. They
You
could
know
have
what
done
it
so much
was? The directors were they had a Star Wars contract, which they can't even do it. Like Star Wars dumped them.
more. I was about to say they got dumped, right? I
So
don't know why you
they
would try
rushed,
to. Why would you rush it just for that? I mean,
and they had 2 years, and this is what they produced. They clearly their heads were not in the game. But
bro, it
it's
was
all good.
bad. From the promising guys that went to meet in the first season to that was a shambles. Like honestly, I'm waiting for the prequels, yeah. The House of Dragons or something.
That's next year, I think, right?
Yeah. When you think
Man,
about these things, sometimes when you say 2022, you're like it's too far away. But man, before
it's
you know
next
it,
year.
we're already in almost April, Seth.
This HBO Max has content, bro.
Bruh,
That's
I'm so glad I'm
content.
so glad I got it. So glad
Seriously.
I got it. Actually, you know what? I need to check my subscription because I might be paying for regular. I don't think it's separate. I don't think they are intertwined. I think it's separate subscriptions,
Okay.
which is fucked because I'm paying for two right now. I'm paying for HBO and HBO Max.
Once they bring this
So,
thing to Canada, we move.
so yeah, guys, we had a fun-filled discussion, and I even forgot we were recording. But yeah, we like to do these, both comic book nerds or all we like all this shit. So Bernie's actually deeper than me. Sometimes I'm like, how the fuck do you know this shit, bro? I'm
Man,
like jealous. I'm like jealous. I'm like, what the hell?
man, I just went in those holidays in Loyola. I just went deep, bro.
I
What else
wish,
was I
man.
doing? Except for watching football. We won, so we thank God.
Yeah.
But what else was I doing? Just watching football and reading comics and stuff like that. So,
Yo, bro, the hoodie you're wearing is not here, man. It's just regular ones with just the pictures of Justice League. It doesn't have any of those badges you
what
have.
DC shop or what?
Yeah, I'm a DC shop.
Let me show you where it is.
I'm gonna shop DC Comics.
So
Anyways,
this
that's
one, there's a site called Ink to the People.
link to the
Here, I'll post a link in here for you.
All right, let me
So
check
these
it
were
out.
actually designed by Zack Snyder's people, while the other ones are designed by DC and
It
Warner
does
Brothers.
not. The page does not start your own T-shirt under it.
Oh,
Does not exist anymore. Maybe it was a limited time.
Oh shoot,
Might have been
it might,
limited.
it might have been.
It's all good. It's all good.
But check that site out anyway. They've got some stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed. We're clearly excited.
Yeah. Thanks,
You know,
guys.
let's engage once everybody has watched it next weekend.
Yep.
On social media. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you want to talk about. If you're
Let us know
interested
what
in,
shows you're into and if we should watch them.
we
And
should
then
watch them exactly.
we will
Make
review. Some
suggestions.
people thrown some ideas at us already, and we got a group chat that wants to talk Wandavision.
Yep.
When this Captain what's it? Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I'm not
Bruh.
interested in. Well, we'll bring some people on. How about that? We'll bring some people on who like
I mean,
this
but
stuff.
we'll have to watch it to contribute now.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I'll eventually I'll watch
I'm gonna
it, but
watch it just
I
because
don't like
it's
those two guys
available.
at all.
I don't. I keep seeing what's his face, and I'm like, have you seen all the memes of his face? He does his face all the time. It's like, dude.
Even when it was Papa Doc. Anyway, we'll leave that.
Yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. We enjoyed definitely. We'll speak to you. We'll hopefully have a guest next week. That we can be excited about. But yeah, enjoy your weeks, everyone. Even though you hear this on Wednesday. But yeah, safe.
Alrighty.
Welcome to the talk shop.